can't make this stuff up. I went down, I pulled the permit out, right? Got an emergency building permit. They took my money. I got the receipt, gave me everything, approval and everything. 30 days later, they're like, oh, well, you're not doing any work, so you have to stop. Called my insurance company, sent them the pictures because I had to have work done for the insurance company not to drop my insurance. They take the pictures. I tell the insurance company, because he's like saying I'm not doing my work. I'm like, send your photos to the building inspector, let him know I am working.
Right, but you don't have a license, do you?
To do my own housework? You don't need a license to do your own housework.
Like it's your house?
Yes.
On River Street?
Yes.
No, this isn't about River Street. This is about another house you were doing a roof on. This isn't about your house. Foster's.
So this is Foster's. All right, I thought this was my house.
Oh, God, no. No, this has nothing to do with your house.
Oh, I was like, what the heck?
No, this isn't your house.
Right?
This is Foster's house. This is
Right?
Foster's house.
You think they would be happy that the roof is getting done?
Listen, okay? I understand it. So, this came from upstairs.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Upstairs, you got anything on you that I need to worry about?
Not unless you want my money and stuff.
Nope, it's a PTA.
How long have you known me? How long? Many years, right? I don't need anything other than this right
I
here.
know. There probably will be another warrant, just warning you now, coming down.
Another warrant for what?
These are civil charges. The permit is criminal.
Oh, I have all my emails for him that he called me. I called him. He pulled out the stuff for the permit. Foster himself.
I know.
Are you aware of that stuff or no?
I'm aware of what.
You aware that Foster gave him money to start the permit fee, and that he was on the phone with
but
me?
you don't have the only other things are you don't have a license.
Well, homeowners are allowed to do their own.
Contractor's license.
Well, my contract is like expired, but you're allowed to, in the state of Connecticut, you're allowed to do roofs without as long as you don't go under the banner of a contract, you're allowed to do roofs in the state of Connecticut. So if you look and you Google it, you're literally allowed to do roofs in Connecticut. And I went over there and I was arguing with him. I'm not giving you any permit. You can't give me a permit for commercial property, but you can give me a permit for residential property because you don't need to have a license to do roofing because it's not life-threatening. I mean, I found it for him.
These are just his. So
Until you fall off the roof.
No, I have $1.3 million insurance.
I know you
I have
do.
insurance coverage.
I know, buddy. I know.
This is funny. More coming down the chute.
Sorry, buddy.
I know you are. So who's the big wig pushing the ball? Chris over there in the building? Yeah.
No, the housing state's attorney.
Housing state's attorney.
Yep.
You would think that they'd be happy with the roof falling off.
Yeah.
That it's taking care of people inside. Alrighty.
It's only a PTA, buddy. Look at you
Yep.
out of here.
We got to go share the gifts up at Terryville. Housing authority, right? So they want everybody to have dumpsters for homes instead of actually new roofs so the water's not coming in. Can't make this stuff up.
No. All right, here, grab a seat. Let's see if I can get through this. Alrighty then.
What's up, Biff?
You can't make this shit up. Yeah, I'm filming me getting processed.
Okay. We're filming you, so.
Cool. He wasn't, now he is.
What'd you do?
Apparently I put a roof on a house down the street, Foster's building, right next to the fire department. And building inspector called me up. I was on the other side of the state. And he's like, can you get here? I'm like, what? I can make it there in a few hours. I can't get there right away. Then Foster called me up and says, the building inspector put something on the building. He's like, I'm going to go down there. So Foster went down to the building inspector and gave him the money for a permit. Was going to pull the permit out himself. So they took Foster's money for the permit. And the building inspector wanted photos of what was being done.
Yep.
So I showed him a photo of the roof there. So the roof, with Connecticut and Alaska is the only two states that have where you have to put seam tape on plywood, which makes absolutely no sense. But this house, Foster's building, is tongue and groove. So there is no gaps, there is no seams. So anyhow, I sent him a photo that he wanted with the ice and water, 2 rows going up.
Did I ever see into this? It's just going to be a serve arrest warrant, so I don't think we don't actually have a case on it. Oh no, actually, hold on. We got one. It's 17708. I just need the time of arrest.
Fucking kidding me.
Sorry that again. What? Okay, thank you. Bye.
So he asked for pictures as the work was being done.
Do you have an ID on you, Biff?
Yeah. So I provided him the pictures as it was being done per his request.
Yep.
And got half the house done, and told him what was done and that I wouldn't do any more work until I saw him personally. I went down there to pull the permit out. I'm not giving you any permit. Your license is expired. I'm like, well, I went online for the state's stuff, and you're allowed to do roofing. You don't need a license per se for roofings. You need a license if you're going to go under the banner, and they call it a banner, as a contractor.
My password won't work again. Second time.
Oh, good
Reset.
Keith to figure it out.
And he blew a gasket and said that, no, that you can't go by that. I'm like, well, I found that on the state's freaking website.
Yeah.
So with I guess things that would be dangerous you can catch on fire with, electrical and plumbing and stuff like that. They can do a lot of damage. But I gave him a copy of the state's thing saying that as long as you're not going under a contractor, you can do roofs. Blew a gasket and said no. And then I turned him around and I says, well, Foster already came down and paid you for the permit. I says, the morning of that we started the job. No, he applied for a permit. That's different than getting a permit. So you take the man's money and it says permit on it, but you're not going to call it a permit. So homeowners can actually pull their own permit out. Homeowners of properties.
Of course, because if I want to build a deck, I could pull my own permit.
So Foster went down there, gave them money because I was out of town. Went down there, gave them monies, and paid for the permit. But he's calling it not a permit; it's an application for a permit. An application for a permit. So you gave the guy a receipt for a permit, and you want to call it an application for a permit when he started the processes of getting a permit. Can't make this stuff up.
Can't make it up, and you're actually getting rid of some of the blight in town.
Yes! It was. I had a tarp on it, and the high torrential windfalls shredded it. It looked like a cat was up there and tore it apart.
Yeah.
Because I kept going by to look at it to see how it was doing. And one day it was good, and the next day it was just shredded.
Yeah.
So I went up there, put another tarp on there for him. And exactly, it is blight. The house is falling apart. He didn't have tongue and groove. So his big thing up his butt was like, you didn't put the seam tape on. You don't need to put seam tape on if it's tongue and groove. You know, it's tongue and groove, and I put plywood over the tongue and groove because the original roof was wooden shakes. So you have 10,000 freaking nails in the wooden shakes in it. You don't want to shred the shingles, cut through this, that, and the other. So just put all new plywood on it.
You're signing out to it. It's the second time this has happened to me. I have to get another password, and it was working out in front when we did it a couple weeks ago, and now it's not.
Well, it's fine, whatever.
Oh, I can't the camera?
Yep, yeah, the camera.
Come on.
That's long enough. All the rest is freaking
Biff is always doing it.
Do-
Always does that.
duty stuff.
Anytime you have interaction.